Want to start your own podcast? I did, but had no idea where to begin. I thought I needed a computer, which I'm no expert at, and spent hundreds on equipment. Turns out all I needed was Anchor. I can use my PC, my tablet, or my phone to record an episode. No need to buy interfaces or recorders, and it's free. Anchor takes all the guesswork out and does everything for you. You can even upload your live stream, and Anchor will convert it to audio. No fancy apps or programs needed. Did I mention it was free? So learn from my mistakes, save money, and join Anchor.
This is Sister Tracy from the Church of Rock radio show, and you're listening to Undergroundopolis.
Doesn't wanna be lonely, but her love is fading slowly. She just wants to feel something, even if it comes from nothing. Nothing at all.
Welcome to Undergroundopolis, everybody. It is that time. We are just trucking right along. Episode 2 of Season 5. Can you believe it's been 5 seasons already, man? It's just crazy. I started out pretty short with shorter seasons, and then Season 4 I decided to make a longer one. This one's going to be probably another 50 episodes, too. Just a little wrap up on last year. We just had Carla Torgerson of the Walkabouts on. I was so nervous talking to her. I really was. I was like, it's somebody I actually have liked for a long time, because her basis was the basis for Mad Season on the Above album. And it was just, I couldn't believe I got that. She said, yeah, sure, I'll come on the show. Yeah. All right, enough of my rambling. My next guest, I will let them introduce themselves, but I will say that I met them, or at least I met one of them, at Open Mic at Dundee Tavern. That happens every Wednesday night from 7 to 10, 2224 Dundee Road, Louisville, Kentucky. Just my little shameless self-promotion plug there. Guys, tell us who you are, where you're from.
What's up? I'm Carson. I'm Kyle. And we're Falling Tree Way. We're from Louisville, Kentucky. We both went to Trinity High School.
Falling Tree Way, is that a street you live on? I just got to ask.
Yeah, that's a street over in East Louisville. It's right off Hurstbourne in the Plainview neighborhood.
I always wondered that. I don't know. Maybe I may have asked you that before. I don't know. I can't remember if I had or not because, let's face it, it's starting to go up there sometimes. It's getting foggy upstairs.
I gotcha. Yeah, we're sitting in the house on Falling Tree Way right now.
How did you guys come together as a band?
We just kind of had a group of friends that have been jamming together probably once a week on every weekend. And I'd been wanting to put together a band for a while, but it's so hard to, find a keyboard player or another guitar player or bass player who's consistent. And Kyle was always somebody who was super consistent. And I remember I went up to Cincinnati and I saw this band called the Blue Stones play, and they're a duo. And they had just such a full sound. I was like, why spend the time looking for somebody else? Kyle, one of my best friends, super consistent drummer, an amazing drummer, an amazing songwriter. I should just start a project with just me and him. And that's kind of how it came together.
Right on. Well, how would you describe Falling Tree Way's music?
I think we'd describe it kind of as definitely a rock kind of thing, kind of alternative, maybe a little bit of punk in there in some parts of the songs. But I like to think of it just kind of as a good melting pot for all different kinds of music. We kind of just draw from whatever we think is cool and make it our own and kind of just have fun with it. That's all you can really do with music is have fun with it. So yeah, I think it's just kind of a lot of different things, and that's what really makes it cool.
Hearing Carson talk and hearing Carson sing, it's different because he's got a guy. When you're talking to him, he's not really loud, but he's got that huge voice when he sings. Really, really good.
Thank you.
Well, see, lost my place already. Damn. If anybody happens to hear kittens, it's because there's 6 of them in here. Down here with me, but there's only one's awake and keeps taking off with my glasses.
I haven't heard any yet. I'll be listening though.
Now, do you have a particular creative process?
I feel like we kind of have two. Usually I'm the person, like when we start, like sit down to write a song, I'll usually have like a riff or a chord progression is pretty cool. And, either I have lyrics to go with it kind of finished, or I come to Kyle and say like, hey, I'm really stuck on these. Kyle's fantastic with lyrics, especially when I have my head up my ass and I can't figure out where I'm going with it. He'll straighten me out, and we can always get lyrics finished. And then Kyle always writes the drum parts on top of it. So that's how our songs usually come together. It's a really great process because we can knock songs out really fast, but at the same time we can spend time and make sure they're well written, thought out songs.
Well, so you got an album coming out? Well, it'll be,
Yep,
by the time
August
this airs,
3rd.
it will be out.
Yeah, so, let's see. I don't know when this is coming out, but the album will come out August 13th, and it's called Barely Conscious.
How many songs you got on that?
There is
Let's
12
get skinny.
songs.
Really?
Yep. We released an album back in 2020, and it was 7 songs, and we were like, oh man, you can barely call this an album, it's so short. And so we were like, we definitely have to, really beef up the next one. And it took a while. I mean, we started writing this right afterwards in 2020. And, we probably wrapped up writing it, I'd say about like 7-8 months ago. And yeah, no, it's 12 new songs. We're really proud of it. We think it's definitely some of the best stuff we've ever done.
Did you release it on your own then? Just
Yeah.
and all that?
Oh yeah, Distro Kids, everybody's friend.
Right. What's your favorite song to play off of it? And you can have different answers.
I think for me, my favorite one is probably the title track, Barely Conscious. It's just really fun for me because it was like, there's a certain drum part in it that I find to be really fun, and I was kind of proud of when I came up with it because I was just kind of messing around on the kit one day, and Carson was playing the riff, and it kind of just came together. So I think that one's personally my favorite, just out of all of them. And I mean, I really like playing all of them. I think they're all really fun, but that one for sure is probably my favorite.
Yeah, no, I agree. Barely Conscious is a super fun song to play, and I know exactly what part he's talking about, and it's super original. It's an absolutely fantastic drum groove. I don't know, for me, it might be a tie. I love playing. We released 2 singles before putting out the album. Those are out right now. We had one single called Be There in 15 come out July 30th, and that's definitely, that one might be my favorite. That one has a little bit more of a punk feel to it. It's just a quick-paced, real fast, hard-hitting rock song. Super fun to play. And then the other one is our other single that came out August 6th, and that one's called Break Your Fall, and it's got this super dark, quick guitar riff. When we recorded it at DSL Recording Studio with Mike Baker, the audio engineer. He's absolutely fantastic. He pointed out that it sounds just like a surf rock song, and I was like, oh my god, it does. It sounds like a dark surf rock like guitar riff, and it's super fun to play. We kick back and forth between like the real soft kind of dark melody, and then just like into some really heavy distortion power chords. and going back and forth and watching everybody kind of like, get dance and, really heading on to the heavy part and then kind of like slow up for the little riff it's really fun to watch and play.
You ready to take it out on the road, are you?
For sure.
So, did you work with a producer, or did you just produce yourselves, or?
We just produced it ourselves. I would say that Mike, the audio engineer over there, he had a little bit of a hand in producing it as well. He's an absolute genius, and we love working with him. We did our other songs, Rookies, that album with him, and when we decided we were going to do something else, we came back to him, and I mean, it just clicked again. It's so easy to work with him. And like, he's somebody who you can totally like tell anything to, and he reads the person who he's recording for really well.
Is there a song on there that's really, really personal to you, to either one of you, or both of you? And you can have it. You can have different answers, of course.
I'd say that in ways the whole album is personal. The album's called Barely Conscious, and it's all just about how I've kind of just the feeling that you get that you're on autopilot, and you'll have these moments where you're kind of just sober up during the day, like not actually sobering up, but just like having kind of a moment of clarity, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I've just been like wandering throughout the day, like not doing anything. But probably the most personal song is a song about my girlfriend called Lovely. I think it's the 8th track on the album. That one's probably the most so.
Uh-huh. What would you say your favorite show you've ever played is so far?
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think. We recently played a show at Big Rock, and that one was really fun. It was really hot at Big Rock at Cherokee Park, I think it is.
Yeah, it was just like a little DIY pop-up show, but we played it with Lux and 2 other bands, and it was pretty packed, but it was also freaking hot.
Yeah, it was really fun though, because everyone was just packed in there dancing and having a good time. It like we kind of just kind of went in on it really hard, and it was really high energy, and all the the crowd was really high energy to match, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed that part about the show. So I think that's probably my favorite, just because like as a drummer, I'm really a big fan of high energy stuff. I feel like it's the case with a lot of drummers too, but I love the energy. So that was probably my favorite for sure.
I'd probably have to say the same thing. We played at Captain's Quarters a while back.
Oh wow!
And that was a real fun show. Kind of unexpected. Having like an original rock and like a little bit of a punk band come play isn't something that screams, oh yeah, Captain's Quarters. But we went and played there, and it was really fun, and everybody there was really receptive of it. That's one thing I really like about our music, is I think it's just, we're kind of like a switchblade Army knife. We've got like blues songs, we've got punk leaning songs, we kind of have a little bit of everything. So I'd say that's definitely one of my favorites, but that DIY show we played at Big Rock, I mean, most energy we've ever seen. People up on each other's shoulders, and absolutely everybody, moshing. It was an absolutely great time.
Well, here's the counter question. What would you say your least favorite show would be?
Let's see. There was a show, it was probably about a year and a half ago maybe. I think it was last summer. We had to go out to like the middle of nowhere and play this show. Like, it kind of just popped up out of nowhere. Like, these people put on this thing, and they were asking us to come play, and we said, all right. But we go there, and it's like, going through somebody's farm to get there, and it was like literally in the middle of nowhere. And when we get there to like start setting up, there's like no one there except the people who set it up. And they're like, all right, let's see what you got. And we're just kind of like, well, where's everybody at? And they're like, well, there's not really a huge turnout for this day, but tomorrow is going to be a lot of people. So, and we're like, well, so it kind of just, it was kind of anticlimactic, like going in there, and, after they kind of hyped it up a little, but, it was fine. Like, we played fine and everything, but the atmosphere wasn't really there. It was kind of weird, kind of odd. Definitely was kind of just counting down the minutes of the set just to kind of get out of there, maybe skipped a couple of songs here and there just to get through it. But yeah, that was definitely kind of the worst one for me. I like I said, I'm a big fan of energy, and there just wasn't anything there. So I was kind of looking at my watch the whole time.
Yeah, that's the same show. Like, that's probably what I would say too. I don't remember what it was called. But we went, and there wasn't a whole lot of people there. There was like the people who set it up, and we played, and they were like, "Oh, like you guys killed it! Like that was like so good." And we were like, "Yeah, thanks. All right, we'll see you guys later." And I felt bad because it was a real nice setup, and they said they were really looking forward to the next day, and then it like poured the next day, so it got rained out. I did feel bad for them, but yeah, that was definitely not too fun of a show.
Yeah, some of those festivals I've learned over the last year. Some of those quote unquote festivals, it's just a party for the host.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I'm not taking anything away from anybody. Sometimes they turn out to be really badass, and I'm sure they want them to be really badass, but sometimes they just don't, man.
Mhm.
But since it is my show, we get to talk about my favorite song, which is "Standing in My Own Way," which is probably the first song I've heard of you guys. Last year sometime when I first started speaking with Carson. Okay, I think it was. But what's the story behind "Standing in My Own Way"?
"Standing in My Own Way." Let's see. That was a song. I just kind of had that acoustic guitar part, and I loved it. And I was like, this is gonna be really freaking awkward to work into our stuff. And me and Kyle kind of just sat down and hashed it out. Lyrics, it's just all about, kind of self-doubt. Rookies itself is a lot of it's just about kind of self-doubt. I mean, like when we recorded it, the whole reason we named that album Rookies was because we were in those recording sessions feeling just like absolute newbies. We didn't know a damn thing. And that's how that name came to us. And then "Standing in My Own Way" was kind of a reflection of that. But yeah, we get a lot of people who say that that's their favorite song on that album, especially because it's the most like dynamic. There's a bunch of acoustic guitar. It's just the widest range of like instrumentation, because we don't mix it up too often. You're going to see us mix it up a good amount on this next album coming out here next Saturday. But yeah, that one was a whole lot of fun to play and a whole lot of fun to write and record as well. Sorry, dog.
Well, the kittens are sleeping except for the one that's outside of the door that's trying to get in. Let's see here. Who would you open up a show for? If you could open up a show for anyone, any artist, who would it be? You could both have different answers.
That's a really hard question.
I know who it would be for me, but I want to hear Kyle first. I'm interested.
Honestly, I wasn't prepared for this kind of a question. I have too many, I'd say. I could probably give you a top 3, but
that's fine.
I definitely, because I'm a big fan of classic rock, so I'd have to go throw back a little. Definitely have to open a show for like my favorite band is Boston, so that'd just be awesome if I had the
Oh, wow.
opportunity to do that. Probably have to go with Rush. I really like Rush.
You're a drummer, so.
Exactly. You know, it's kind of inherent. But then kind of just one of my, like, I guess I would just call it like a guilty pleasure band would probably just be, you know, I think they just kind of kick ass as Metallica. It'd be so awesome to just be there for that. But obviously, like, our stuff doesn't really mix well with that, kind of, but, you know, that'd just be something that I'd really, really want to do. That'd be awesome.
Man, you said guilty pleasure band. I thought you were going to say Big Time Rush on the Nickelodeon show. So for mine, like, this is easy, but my favorite band of all time, and they're still touring, is Bass Drum of Death from Oxford, Mississippi. They're absolutely amazing, and they're definitely one of our biggest, like, inspirations musically. They started out as a duo. It's just this guy named John Barrett. Well, actually, really started out just like by himself, and then it grew into a duo, and now they tour around as a three-piece. But I mean, like, if you take a look at some of his live performances, like, he's getting energy from every crowd, and that's definitely just an easy no-brainer. That's the band I would definitely want to open for.
Where all have you performed so far?
Let's see. So we've played at Captain's Quarters. We've played at the Granville Pub down by Louisville.
Really?
We've played at Check's in Germantown, Check's Cafe. It was funny. We actually played it like the day after their blues festival. It was a really weird time, but it ended up working out, and that was a really fun place to play. See, are there any other, like, we played at the Portal in Portland.
Yeah, we played at the Portal.
That's a pretty ass venue, dude. That place is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. I've not been there yet.
Oh, you need to go. Oh my gosh. It's absolutely fantastic.
I look at pictures. I've definitely looked at pictures. I was like, man, I want to play there too.
For sure. I'm trying to think about what else we played. Kyle, do you know some other places we played besides, you know, those four?
I'm trying to think. I mean, like, we've played at numerous, like, just pop-up shows, like, you know, in parks or whatever, you know, played at people's houses and whatnot. So, just different kinds of stuff like that. Not, you know, a few of the, like, the established, you know, restaurants or venues or something like that. But a lot of the, you know, as you can probably tell or guess, a lot of the shows that come out of, like, the bands like we are kind of DIY and, you know, put together by the bands themselves, and maybe be someone's house or in the park or something like that. So
we you had Antithesis on the show probably about a year ago. I loved watching or listening to that episode, and they played at, like, a little do-it-yourself festival called Field Fest, and we ended up we were there this year.
Oh, right on. I met them at LRS Fest.
Heck yeah, we're supposed to be there this next year coming up, or October 1st. So I guess it's in like 2 months. We're gonna be at LRS Fest.
That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
This year's lineup is really, really good. Got Gorilla Red. Of course, there's Local H and Tantric. Who else?
Yeah.
Texas Hippie Coalition. Aren't they going to be there?
Yeah.
It's a hell of a bill this year.
No, it really is. It's crazy. I remember, cause we got a text, like, they were kind of doing some announcements, and we got a text and it was like, hey, would you guys be interested? And we were like immediately, hell yeah. And then we saw the lineup come out, and we were like, holy crap. You know, it was wild just to see, like, that, we got to play, like, kind of in the same lineup with, like, some of these huge groups.
The singer of Gorilla Red and I had a Matchbox 20 tribute band for a little while. We just played a couple of shows. He's still pretty good. Yeah, oh yeah. And he's singing. He's up there with us going, baby, it's 3 a.m. I must be. He's up there Gorilla.
That's hilarious. Yeah, those are just two very different bands. That's I can't even picture that, man.
Congratulations, man! Get on LRS Fest. I'm really, really happy for you guys. Because the Streakers did it last year. They had an acoustic stage, and we did the acoustic stage, and we wound up having a pretty good crowd over that acoustic stage. It was,
Heck yeah.
you know, because it was pretty much in between when the main stage was setting up and tearing down. People were walking over there. We probably had 40 to 50 people around this little bitty acoustic stage. And I was really, really surprised, and it was really fun. And I'm really glad you guys got to do it. They didn't have an acoustic stage this year, so I didn't try to get us on there. And that's okay. They could do that. I still support the hell out of LRF. Those guys they actually like this show. Yeah. And those kids from Antithesis, kind of, I say it right?
Yeah, no, that's it. Antithesis, yeah.
They're super good kids, man. Well, I guess they're really not kids, but they're kids to me. Just like you guys are kids to me. They're super good guys, and they're going to do really good things, just like you all are. Just getting on LRS Fest this particular bill, Jesus, that's right. Well, I mean, last year we had John Corabi, who was the other singer for Motley Crue on one album. It is like, he was fantastic. And believe it or not, Kip Winger was really good. He just did an acoustic set. He was really, that was the thing about the 80s bands. It's like, you had to be good. You got to the 90s and 2000s, you could be mediocre, but be a really good songwriter, and you could get a record deal.
Yeah.
80s and stuff. You had to be really good, and those guys were really good. They were really, really good. And so are the guys coming up this year. I'm really excited for this LRF Fest, man. Because I like Texas Hippie Coalition. I've liked them for a long time. And of course, Tantric. Tantric's been on this show, believe it or not. Hugo Ferreira has. Yeah, he's been on the show. He was super nice about it, man. He's like, sure, I'll come on and do it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm nobody. I said, after all, thank you for doing this because I'm small potatoes. You know what he said? He said, all good meals have small potatoes in them. He said, I'll never forget it. I thought that was just like the nicest thing.
For sure.
Guys, I'm sorry I got to rambling there.
No, you're good.
We're starting to run out of time here. Is there anything you want to plug in before we wrap it up?
I don't think too much. Definitely check out the first two singles they're out now. And then the album comes out August 13th. So if you're hearing it and it's past August 13th, go give Barely Conscious a listen. Besides that, we've got a few shows coming up August 19th, 27th. LRS Fest is October 1st, and we're playing at Magbar October 22nd. You can follow us, Falling True Way on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever social media you have, just keep up with us, and we'll definitely keep you guys updated on our shows.
I will include the Linktree link, it's in the description below when you look at this. Can we expect Barely Conscious on vinyl or cassette or anything, or CD?
I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Maybe CD, but not entirely sure just yet about that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if anybody has CD players anymore. I tell you, somebody sent me I bought a vinyl off Bandcamp. It just came a couple of days ago from a band called the Gizmos, and they were considered Indiana's first punk rock band, and they just reconvened after a million years or something and released a little EP on vinyl, and I bought it, and they sent me a couple of CDs with it. And I'm like, I don't have any way to play it.
Yeah, no, I remember
I'm gonna go to Goodwill and buy a $5 DVD player or something so I can listen to it through the TV.
Yeah, I remember when we finished up our last album, we had some CDs made, And I was like, oh yeah, I'm so glad we got these CDs, man. I'm gonna put one of these in my CD player in my van, you know, give it a listen. And then I opened my van door. I'm like, oh my god, I don't have a CD player. And so we couldn't even listen to our own CDs, but apparently they worked. We sold them all.
Confidence is what he's looking for. I'd walk into a front door. He's got a song to play inside of words he's gotta say. Oh, oh, oh. By the way she says hello, he knows he's gotta put on a show. Oh, oh. So he says, I told me to sound rude, but let me serenade you.
This is Bloody F Mess, and this is the joke of the week. My kid is blaming me for ruining his birthday. That's ridiculous. I didn't even know it was today.